Girl left me for a richer guy. The wedding apparently was a shit show. This happened many years ago, but I have been wanting to tell this for a while. Back in the happy-go-lucky days of the late 1990s, I had a college girlfriend, Courtney, and like many a young man, I thought she was the one. That turned out very inaccurate. Courtney decided to start seeing someone else, Mike. However, she neglected to tell me about it and started seeing Mike while we were still a couple. I knew of him mostly that his dad was rich and he was destined to follow in dad's footsteps and attend Harvard Law and work at a prestigious law firm, which he ultimately did from what little I have heard over the years. But that is for another day. Upon graduation, all three of us were in the same year. Courtney and Mike decided to break the news to me that they were engaged. When I asked very loudly why, Courtney just shrugged and said she needed a husband with prospects, translation, money. And to add the cherry on top, the job that I was offered upon graduation announced there was corporate restructuring and the position had been eliminated. So I did what any recent college graduate with whose job plans disappeared and whose girlfriend just ditched him for a richer guy. I joined the Army. I thought I would do this Army thing for a few years before figuring something out. But by the time I finished with OCS, Ranger School, and assigned to a regiment, it was September 2001. I am sure you can guess how busy those years became. A year later, as my first tour in Afghanistan was winding down, I received a DVD from Jaime, a college friend who also knew Courtney and Mike, and was well aware of what happened between us. A note with the DVD said, "Please watch, you will love it." The DVD was their wedding. It looked like a high-end venue, and the bride was looking every bit as beautiful as I remembered. Things were going as expected until the minister said the speak now part, and that was when the gates of hell opened. A man stood, someone I did not know, and demanded how could Courtney go through with this. Courtney's face went white and pleading when she saw him. The man who I dubbed Rick wanted to know how Courtney could do this him. Welcome to the club. Then Rick dropped the bomb. Courtney was carrying their child. Mike's face went red as he looked at Rick, then at Courtney, realizing that the woman he was about to marry, the woman who cheated on me with him, was more than likely pregnant, and not by him. But that was not the best part. As the wedding guests were probably processing what Rick said, the camera turned as someone else yelled. This time a woman, dubbed Mary, who was very pregnant herself. Any shred of moral high ground Rick had was gone when Mary cradled her belly and demanded to know how Mike was going to take care of their child. The DVD ended with the parents of the not wedded couple pulled their respective kids aside and left the venue. It did not take a genius to figure out that the wedding was called off. And Jaime's note was right, I did love it. It made my day to see the woman who carelessly broke my heart so publicly embarrassed. I showed it to my comrades who found it hilarious. Over a year later, this time in Iraq, that DVD would provide some joy on days when shit had really hit the fan. I only heard bits and pieces of what happened after the ill-fated wedding. As I said earlier, Mike did go on to be a lawyer and apparently did well. Courtney got a job and went on with her life. I can only guess that they wound up with the other person, or at least raised their kids. Beyond that, I know little and care even less. As for me, I stayed in the Army. I would return to Afghanistan and Iraq more than once. I would serve in places I am still not allowed to discuss and deal with enemies who made bin Laden look like Gandhi. But those are other stories.